Hello, and welcome to Zenith's Video Guide. I think you're going to enjoy our program. It's designed to give you quickly and simply all the information you'll need to help you get the maximum pleasure from your new VCR. To start, note the color-coded chapters on the back of the cassette sleeve. Each chapter has its own color, and that same color also appears as a color bar across the bottom of your screen to help you quickly find a specific chapter for later review. As you start viewing each chapter, the color bar will slowly disappear until at the end of that chapter, it's entirely gone. How much of the color bar shows will tell you where you are within a chapter. Now, this video program will show you how to operate your VCR, but it isn't meant to replace this printed operating guide. So we recommend that you take the time to read it. You'll find additional information in the printed guide that's not included in this video program. One other quick point. This video guide is meant to be used with several VCR models. While functions among the various models are virtually identical, where there are differences, we'll indicate them. Well, that's it for the preliminaries. Let's get started. Before we get started, notice the clock. It's flashing because the time needs to be set. We'll do that a little later, but for now, let's at least stop it from flashing. Press clock adjust and enter twice. Your new Zenith VCR has an automatic power-on system. Simply loading the cassette automatically turns on the deck. Now, I'll just turn it off for a minute and show you a handy feature. If you want to get the cassette out quickly, you don't have to power up the deck. Simply press the eject button, and just like that, out comes the cassette. Your VCR's primary controls are located here across this front panel. Behind this panel door, we have the secondary control group. We'll take a detailed look at these shortly, but for now, the knobs should be centered, and all switches should be set to the left. On the back are the antenna connections, the channel output selector switch, and the audio and video input-output jacks. Well, so far so good. Now, let's find out more about cassette playback. For cassette playback, you can operate your VCR in several ways. Manually, with the controls on the front of the machine, or at a distance with this convenient, full-function remote control. If you use the remote, be sure that this switch is in the VCR position. In the TV position, this remote will operate many remote-controllable Zenith TVs. Your Zenith VCR also has a feature called Auto Play to let you play back a cassette automatically. Here's how it works. A special circuit inside the cassette deck can sense the presence or absence of this cassette safety tab. Removing the tab prevents accidental re-recording of pre-recorded tapes. Anyway, if you insert a cassette that doesn't have the safety tab, the cassette will automatically go into the play mode and start playing the cassette. Okay, to view a cassette, turn on your TV set and tune it to channel 3 or 4, whichever is the unused broadcast channel in your area. In this case, channel 3. Then, on the back of your VCR, set the RF output switch to match the TV channel you've selected. Once you set this switch, you never have to set it again. And from now on, this switch position will determine which channel, 3 or 4, you tune your TV to when using your VCR. Now, why don't you sit back, relax, and use the remote control? And if you do, be sure the VCR TV switch is in the VCR position. The Tape TV button on the remote has the same function as this Tape TV button on the VCR. When the light is on, that means you can view a picture from a cassette or from broadcast TV using the VCR's tuner. When it's off, That means you must use your TV's tuner to select channels and to view a picture independent of the VCR. If you don't get a picture and your TV screen looks like this, just press the Tape TV button and you should get a picture immediately. Okay, notice these special symbols or icons printed on the membrane panel. These same icons also appear on the fluorescent display panel, so you can see at a glance what your VCR is doing. Here's something else that'll help you see at a glance what your VCR is doing. This on-screen button. Press it once to call up a variety of computer-like on-screen displays to tell you your VCR's current operating mode, along with time and channel information. These displays can also be called up on the remote. Stay on screen for 5 seconds and then disappear. The remote control can perform virtually any function on your VCR. It'll do all the playback operations, including speed search forward, speed search reverse, and stop. You can also use the remote control to freeze picture action. When playing, simply press pause. By holding the pause button down, you can advance the picture continuously. To resume regular playback, press play. Normal picture and sound will return. Still picture and picture advance can also be controlled on the cassette deck by pressing the pause button. By the way, if this program seems to be going by too fast, press the pause button and rewind the tape a little, and then view the tape again. And then view the tape again. Speaking of rewind and play, your new VCR has a feature called Play Memory for repeat viewing of programs. Just press the rewind and then the play buttons almost simultaneously. The flashing play indicator means the cassette will rewind to the beginning, stop, and begin playing back automatically. If during playback your picture looks distorted, or if the audio sounds strange or is missing, turn the tracking control to clear it up. Selecting audio playback is easy. Each time a tape is inserted, the VCR automatically searches for the best sounds. In this case, hi-fi stereo. Now, if your tape has both hi-fi and normal mono soundtracks, you can use this audio out button to manually select hi-fi, normal, or a mix of both. And these indicator lights will show you at a glance which audio playback mode you'll hear. Here's a feature you may find useful. During tape playback, you can automatically search for and find a specific point on the tape. Here's how. When you see a point that you want to return to later, press pause. Then press counter reset. The counter will automatically return to 0. Press play, continue playing the tape just as you would ordinarily. Later, when you want to return to the previous point, set this switch to on. Press stop, then press rewind. The tape will rewind to 0, the point where you press the reset button. Now you're ready for tape playback. Well, that about wraps up this chapter. Coming up next, important information about your TV picture. For full enjoyment of your VCR, you obviously need a picture. So, in this chapter, we're going to take a brief look at where your TV signal comes from. All of us are accustomed to changing channels on the TV and seeing the channel we selected come up on the screen. That's because your TV has a tuner built in. And it's this tuner that makes it possible for us to receive a TV signal from any available channel in our area. Now, to understand how this works, think of the TV signal as water flowing through a garden hose. The signal flows in here from the antenna and into the back of the TV. Then it flows out again as a picture. Your VCR also has a tuner built in, so in a way it's like a TV set, only without the screen. And like the water in your garden hose, the signal flows in here into the back of the VCR, then the signal flows out again directly into the TV. Since the VCR's tuner works independent of the tuner in the TV, you can change from the VCR's tuner to the TV's tuner or back again anytime you want. Having two independent tuners is why it's possible to record a program on one channel while watching a second program on a different channel. Your VCR can also receive signals directly from a cable TV system or from a special cable TV signal box like this. Now, one of the things all this means is since the VCR's tuner works independent of the TV set, we don't have to have the TV turned on to record a program. That's one of the great features of having a VCR. Now that we know a little bit about where signals can come from, let's go on to the next chapter and find out how to get the ones you want into your VCR.